Alta hora de la noche. Cuando sepas que he muerto, no pronuncies mi nombre, porque se detendría la muerte y el reposo. Tu voz, que es la campana de los 5 sentidos, sería el tenue faro buscado por mi niebla.
Letters to Karl Marx, 1, 2, 3, by Arturo Desimone. 1. Lettre a Karl Marx 1. Marx, I do not write to you as Roque Dalton would, calling you a poet for your sexless Neoplatonic ballads to Jenny von Westphalen. Roque at least was a poet who wrote of your yearning for the fat arms and memories of Jenny by the Rhineland milk farms where the ghost of the work ethic first assailed you, as you lazed, reading Schlegel by the river, where feudal landlords crushed, peasant uprisings of the first revolutionary Protestants, betrayed by Luther. Your lute did not avenge them either. They were peasants, not industrial workers. You saw yourself in the river, beard not long enough. You did not see the skull at the bottom, in which the water snake lived. Roque knew some divine and splendid carnality, as Ruben Dario, who was born not far from where Roque was executed by his own troop comrades. I wish he had mentioned the maid in the wine cellar, paid for by Friedrich Engels' father. The mating act involves a kind of dialectic. To me, fertility is not purely material.
Cuando sepas que he muerto, di sílabas, tranqui. Pronuncia flor, abeja, lágrima, pan, tormenta. No dejes que tus labios hallen 11 letras. Tengo sueño, he amado, he ganado el silencio.
2. Letra a Karl Marx 2. Karl, you began your final work of aesthetics. You promised in your letters, this will be the best ever. To Engels you said, you ain't seen nothing, but died from drink, maid, cigars, after paragraph 1. Brecht interpreted it for you in his own special, Germanic, pragmatist way. Never write on an empty stomach. Usually I wake up and write poems in the morning while hungry, alternative to losing seed and vitality to fantasy lovers I saw on Polish vacations. Therefore, before I finish this poem, or dare continue it, I am off to the baker to buy lunch. Irrational, tongueless Slav I am. I forget to buy bread. Practical problems are hydras, and I don't solve the problems until Marx tells me I need to be rational. The slave revolt cannot have magic or fates or any such fantasies, scientifically inventorized by Dvorak.
No pronuncies mi nombre cuando sepas que he muerto. Desde la oscura tierra vendría por tu voz. No pronuncies mi nombre. No pronuncies mi nombre. Cuando sepas que he muerto, no pronuncies mi nombre.
3. Letra a Karl Marx 3. Inquiry as to feedback on your poetry. Marx, I ran back from lunch with these quests. I'm rereading again these poems for Jenny you sent me for my opinion. Forgive me for red pencil. Did you ever learn Mielet lac sub lingua tua? Dario's first line, age 3, not to be found in Cicero. Maybe ancient Roman proletariat whispered these lines in dark clay huts, not fearing flies would come, eat honeyed mouths of the hungering afflicted. Even plebs shunned their eyes, forbade their feet from washing at the foot fountains. They were captured slaves, In a dream, my ancestors, from islands Sicily, Thrace, from the limitless forest, Poland. But what if history is bourgeois, imagination, and I am a man of my times?
So, one day I have the very strong and very non at all positive conflict with the old priest in the school, old Catholic priest. It was very brutal from his part, and I have the confused memory that it was about the problem of the gospel. I don't know exactly why. It was clear that I was not gentle. But anyway, I wanted to read the Gospels. And he refused. Anyway, what I am sure, that when I left the school, the young assistant of priest, it was vicary in Polish, that it is the young priest which is the assistant. He asked me, he looked for me, and he go very close, near, and gave me the small book in the brown cover, and said that this old priest should never know that he gave me this, and I should to read this secretly. So I think it was very important experience to read the Gospels not as the official institutional lecture, but just opposite, as something in conspiracy. I was going into this high place, up of the place of the pigs, and I opened this book, and it was the beginning of the story of somebody very strange, Jesus, which was for me very human. And the person, for me, it was not the image of the God or something like this, it was the image of the friend.
Letter to Karl Marx, 4th, 4, by Arturo Desimone. Karl, I wonder what you now see from your wine cellar that floats across the ocean of afterworld. Do you look back on this world, trying to throw pages of your promised, never-delivered aesthetics to the dark waves, hoping the wind, the fish that eat diatribes, will bring back to us? Farewell, Prometheus, who wrote silly ballads to Jenny, and who read Goethe to his daughters, and Ovid's Amores to his maid, in the wine cellar paid for by Engels's father. Karl, discoverer of the importance of material, you asked me when I will start the hell. I too will throw stars and Sharasharim columns to the side and grow up, become a human being. I rather remain a symbolic animal. It is more useful to revolution. But we needed you. We needed the lamp to animate with a soul the iron Spartacus ship. You gave us, foolish oarmen. Your aesthetics might have surprised and prevented. Pragmatist Brecht, who interrupts every few lines of dialogue with some ode about economics, material, harvests, proletariat, and his tired ode to sagging noise vagina of an aged prostitute. The aesthetics of grub before spirit, ruptures, loose air might have prevented several cultural revolutions, might have prevented today's post-Cold War fantasy, more vampiric than all other capitalist parasitisms. Art is a democracy, annus domini, poets perform intellectual labor, German Geistelijk relating to psyche and phantoms, inferior to drudgery of workers and managers, Kraft from Deutsch Kraft, thank you for this. Had you explained yourself, would Brodsky have been put on trial for parasitism? He did not fetishize degrees or wage labor. His only employer, mysterious pre-Jesus God. Sons of Jewish peasants hid their idols to gods like playboys from burning stare of the letters in the column. Semite alphabet of reproachful. If I keep you, let me be an ancient Slav on the outside. Maybe the young Marx would have corrected Brodsky at the tribunal. Maybe saying for him, God, just a lumpen proletarian's false consciousness. Ash metaphor of father labor, Faber, mating with Mother Nature, Mona, in the great wine cellar on which all earth is suspended. You might have told the courtroom story of Mona and Faber mating, like Egyptian Nut and Jeb, with a giant green prick in the stars. You might have defended him as your brother Parasite. You never held a job either, but he beat you. Brodsky never even went to high school, and neither did I.